Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is Monday, May 29th. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing next to the Kaagbaan for arrivals. And today, at this moment, this is the only runway in use for arrivals. There's quite a bit of wind actually. Blowing from the northeast. Good morning, Jean-Yves. Goedemorgen, Marius. Good morning. Next up will be a 777-200 arriving from Houston. United Airlines Flight 20. And there she is. Hey there, Paul. Hey there, Jan Kees. Goedemorgen. Good morning. So this is United Airlines Flight 20. It is a 777-200 arriving from Houston, Texas. It left Houston 9 hours and 6 minutes ago, and this 777-200ER is 24 years old, had its first flight in January 1999. Now if you look in the far left bottom, you can see the next plane arriving already. Airbus A380 from Delta Airlines arriving from Portland, Oregon. First up, United Flight 20 arriving from Houston, Texas. So in terms of runway configuration, at the moment Kaagbaan runway 06 is the only runway in use for landings, and departures take place from Polderbaan to the north, runway 36 left. I'm expecting later that additional runways will be used depending on how busy it gets for incoming or outbound traffic. In terms of the weather, the overall picture is the same. So we have wind blowing from the northeast, and today a little bit more from the north than from the east. 030 degrees. Temperature at the moment in the low double digits Celsius. 11, maybe 12 degrees Celsius, so that is, quick math, in the low to mid 50s. Hey there Ad, hey there Sander, hey there Steve J, and hey there Maxine. Good morning to you all. Looking at this airplane, it is Delta Airlines Flight 178. It is an Airbus A380-300 arriving from Portland, Oregon, where it left 9 hours and 43 minutes ago. And the airplane is 7 years old, had its first flight in October 2017. Hey Martijn, goedemorgen, good morning. Nice of you all to join me here once again on this Monday morning in the Netherlands, a holiday, the second day of Pentecost. Not sure if that is something other countries have as well, so do let us know. Is it a holiday for you as well, or just for us Dutchies? Let me show you guys the big picture quickly. So this is in the runway heading 060, so that would make this approximately north. This would be approximately east. This would be approximately south. and this would be approximately west. So mostly blue skies. We have a bit of cloudiness, and it's also a holiday in Germany, Steve says. So it's probably a wider spread thing then. There we go. Here is the next airplane, and let me show you the next two airplanes. Oh, I see I have my digital zoom still enabled from yesterday. Let me disable it. Right, there we go. So in the foreground we have an A321 from Air France arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, insofar as that my camera can focus on it. Let's do that again. Maybe so. Okay, the camera also needs to wake up a little bit, apparently. There we go. Alright, so. And there is the number 2. Which is another A330 from Delta. Let's start with this. It is Air France flight 1240, Airbus A321 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, a short flight of 44 minutes. Hey Arjan, goedemorgen. Good morning. Nice of you to join us again over here at AMS Live at the Polderbaan. So, the A321 that just landed, 22 years old, first flight March 2001. Hey Rolf, goedemorgen, good morning. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. And here is the next airplane already. It is Delta Airlines Flight 48, Airbus A330-300 arriving from New York JFK, where it left 6 hours 54 minutes ago. This airplane, 6 years old, had its first flight in June 2016. Hey Peter, goedemorgen, good morning. A lot of folk already up early. The early bird catches the worm. As I was setting up, I saw a grebe that didn't catch a worm, but a fish. It had a fish in its beak. I think it was Mama Grebe. I think it was Mama Grebe bringing a little bit of breakfast to the zebra striped youngling. Right, so now it is time for two 737s. The first one is a small 700 and the second one is its bigger brother, the more prevalent 800. KLM flight 1618, Boeing 737-700 arriving from Milan, and it departed from Italy 1.5 hours ago. 28 minutes, 1 hour and 28 minutes to be precise. The airplane is 14 years old and had its first flight in October 2008. Hey there Daniel, this is runway 06. Guten Morgen Humphriesdampf. Herzlich willkommen. Schön, dass du auch wieder dabei bist. And for Peter, this is sleeping in compared with the rest of the week. I almost don't dare to ask how early your alarm goes on other days of the week then. But I'm still curious. so gentle. First the left, then the right main landing gear, and there goes the nose gear. Hey there, Dream 350, good morning. Ooh, 5:30, Peter. Early. That is indeed quite early. Alright, next up. Boeing 737-800 arriving from Madrid, KLM. Flight 1698. Departed from Madrid 2 hours and 6 minutes ago. The airplane 15 years old. First flight February 2008. Hey Rolf, goedemorgen. Happy Pinkster maandag. Noise. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Peter. It does get... You do get used to it. Hey there, YouTube fan. Hey there, Joner. Good morning to you both. Now, as I was setting up, I did see a Queen taxi over here. Singapore Airlines Cargo. They have just begun unloading her. We might see the pushback later. But it was nice to see that there was a Queen arriving as I was also arriving. Next up is an E2 Embraer 195 from KLM arriving from, let's see, Krakow in Poland. KLM flight 1992. This is a young airplane. First flight was in March 2022, so it is technically a year old. And if you had closed your eyes and just listened, you would have recognized that whistle and would have been able to say that this was an E2 Embraer 195. Very trademark whistle on landing, just as how the 777-300s and the freighters also have that typical howling sound. Hey there, 68 Twig, good morning. Bram Borst, goedemorgen, good morning. And Yorkshire, good morning, my friend. Happy Pentecost Monday to all of you. Don't ask me what we are celebrating today. that I don't know. But so folks in Germany are off today, folks in the Netherlands are off today. How's that for viewers from other countries? Is it a holiday in your country as well? Probably is in most countries, but just checking to be sure. This is KLM flight 1530. It is an Embraer 175 arriving from Darlington. The airplane is 6 years old. Had its first flight in January 2017. Hey there, George. Goedemorgen, good morning. Now, if you're into Embraer E2 195s, you're in luck, because here comes another one. So that's two, and my guess is that we've already seen most of the airborne fleet of KLM City Hopper E2 Embraer 195s by now. Okay, so 68 Twig says that it's also a bank holiday in the UK. We already established that it is a holiday here in the Netherlands and also in Germany. Hey Koenie, goedemorgen, good morning. Good to see you again, my friend. KLM flight 935 E2 Embraer 195. She's arriving from Dublin, Ireland, and brand new. First flight January this year. How about that? The wind sometimes pushes and pulls on my camera. Following is a little bit uneven at times. Apologies for that. Ooh. Thank you so much, Bradley, for that very generous super chat so early in the stream already. Thanks for sharing the planes. It is very early here in the States, 3:30 a.m. Wow. Are you night owling or an early riser? Your live stream is great for my insomnia on this Memorial Day. Bradley Smith from Chattanooga in Tennessee. Well, Bradley, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for that very kind donation. I'm sorry to hear about your insomnia, my friend. Sleep is so important. I wish a good night's sleep to everybody. Makes you feel better during the day, recover better from the gym or from sickness or from injury. Hopefully your insomnia will get better soon. Definitely worth visiting a general practitioner for if it persists. Don't wait too long with that. So in the meantime, we had a good walk over the water race. You heard it probably, but I was too slow with pointing the camera. The second could had just swim walked around the corner. It was a really funny sight to see. Hey Miguel, good morning. Nice to see you again. Alright, so next up is EasyJet. It is an A319. Arriving from Liverpool. Hey there, DVH B27. Hey there, Wendy. Good morning. Kotigoroshko Studios. Goedemorgen. Nice of you to join us over here. It is a beautiful morning. Bit chilly with the wind, but still. Incoming traffic 06. At the moment the only runway in use for arrivals. Hey there Martin, hey there Grietje, goedemorgen. So it is Embraer time. This is KLM flight 1540, Embraer 190, arriving from Leeds. Hey there, Jaja Army. Good morning. And Ralph asks if there are any queens or kings arriving today. Well, the king will certainly be coming. The daily Emirates A380. Not sure what its estimated time of arrival is. Undoubtedly some 747s will also be coming this way. So this is another E2 Embraer 195 from KLM. So that is three that we've seen now in the last 15 minutes or so. Surely by now we must have seen a significant portion of their E2 Embraer 195 fleet. Anyway, this one was 1 year old, first flight October 2021. And no Kotigorosko Studios, geen nieuwe camera. I'm using this one the entire time already. Camera works just fine, no need to upgrade that. And Kuni says that a Saudia cargo queen will be expected in an hour, or at least I'm interpreting it as there is a Saudia queen underway, or is it a triple? Hey there Nelson, hey there Ronald, good morning to you both, hope you're doing well. Let me have a look further out on flight radar. Okay, so for the time being it is narrow bodies that are inbound. Ah, Saudia Queen. Excellent, thanks for the updated info there, Kuni. And Daniel says that there is a standard livery Emirates A380 due in 3 hours and 20 minutes. So that is 10 to 1. If I counted correctly, around 1 p.m. Okay. Kuni only does kings and queens. That's right. You gotta have standards, mate. Alrighty then. Now, in the pipeline next is a KLM Boeing 737-800. Arriving from Edinburgh, it is KLM flight 1276. Left Edinburgh an hour and 4 minutes ago. This 737 is 22 years old and had its first flight in June 2000. Also a very good morning to Madeira Aviation Spotting. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. And before I forget, I totally forgot to say thanks to Darren Smith. I'm hoping you're watching right now. It was already a couple of days ago that I received an email that I received a PayPal donation from you, and I absolutely forgot to say thanks for that. So apologies for that. Thank you Darren Smith for that donation over PayPal. I only saw the email later, and yesterday I totally forgot to say thank you during the stream. So I'm hoping you're watching. Next up is a Sky Team livery Embraer 190. KLM flight 1924 arriving from Geneva, where she left an hour and 4 minutes ago. This particular airplane is 11 years old already and had its first flight in April 2012. Hey there Jillard, hey there Remco, goedemorgen, good morning to you both. Hope you are both doing well. Welcome to all other viewers who have meanwhile joined us. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. This is arrivals on the Kaagbaan, runway 06. So this is runway 06. The airplanes land to the northeast. The current wind is blowing from 30 degrees approximately, so there is a little bit of crosswind from the left. And I'm still looking for a windsock so that I can visualize the wind over here. I know they should be out there. Yeah, hard to see, but if you look over here in the water, if you look to the weeds over here in the foreground, you can see it is definitely not wind still. In terms of birds, we have Mama Grebe with her little Grebe passenger. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on the Grebe by clicking on her in the screen, but there are constantly things getting in front of it. There we go, this should, now we get the focus. So you can see her young still under her wings. And I think she even made her youngling some breakfast just now, because there was one with a fish in her mouth, in her beak, swimming from one side to the other. There's also a coot. Now in terms of ducks, I haven't seen any ducks just yet. I guess they are sleeping in today. Over the last couple of days we did see them later in the morning, so hopefully later this morning we will also see them again. Hey there Han, goedemorgen, good morning. And indeed, the Grebe did look a bit like a 747 with a space shuttle on top. Younger folks looking at the stream, watching the stream, will probably think, what are they talking about? 747 with a space shuttle on its back. Was that ever a thing? Yes, children, it was. Okay, well, let me have a look on flight radar. It seems a bit quiet at the moment. Ah, it looks like airplanes are lining up for 36 center. Interesting. So that means we are still well positioned to see airplanes land, but it means I will have to rotate a little bit. Interesting. Let me also have a look on the app that shows the current runway usage. It still says Kaagbaan, the only runway in use for arrivals. Now flight radar tells a different story. We should be seeing a Boeing 737-800 arriving from Barcelona. Now let me see, is this the right way to rotate the camera? I think it is. Because we're going to see traffic from a different direction this time round. We'll also have to see where the traffic is coming from. Ah, thanks. There we go. Inbound traffic. This time for runway 36 center. Means that I am located a bit differently. Alright, now next up another Boeing 737-800 arriving from Vienna. So this is KLM flight 1838. Boeing 737-800 arriving from Vienna. This airplane is 23 years old and had its first flight in June 1999. If you just tuned in, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy, this is Arrivals, but the angle looks a bit off, and that is because they just started landing on 36 center. In the meantime, hiya back to AOV Dog. Thank you so much for your kind super sticker, my friend. So let me quickly go back to the camera. We have an A320 from Aer Lingus coming in, flight 840, arriving from Cork, 18-year-old airplane, first flight September 2004. At the moment all inbound traffic seems to be getting directed to 36 center. Which means that we are positioned favorably, but they are passing over really close. It requires a bit more gymnastics from me to keep the camera pointed to the airplane as it passes over, but it does allow for beautiful close-ups. Right, next up Embraer 190 arriving from Bilbao, KLM flight 1684. It is underway now for an hour and 40 minutes, and this airplane, 9 years old, had its first flight in December 2013. Hey there Bob, and hey there Fergus, and hey there Ina. Good morning to you all. Alright, now next up, a heavy A777 from Emirates Sky Cargo. So next up, Emirates Sky Cargo flight 9916. It is a 777 arriving from Aguadilla, where it left 8 hours 25 minutes ago. There's a 777 freighter, brand new, had its first flight June last year, so it's almost a year old. Hey there Temp account, good morning. Good to see you again. So for those of you just tuning in, we had a runway change. Initially landings were taking place on runway 06. At the moment they are taking place on 36 center. So if you're thinking, why is this angle so strange? That is the reason. Now I'm also seeing that there is a 737 from KLM arriving from London Heathrow that is going to 06. So we'll first follow the arrival of this Estonian flag Air Baltic arriving from Tallinn. The airplane I took a nice thumbnail of yesterday, out of yesterday's stream. And then we will quickly switch the camera back to the arrivals for 06. Have to keep a broad view on flight radar to see where airplanes are coming from. They can come from the left, they can come from the right. Always something to do over here at Schiphol. So this is Air Baltic flight 857 arriving from Tallinn. It is the beautiful Estonian flag livery special airplane. Airbus A320, 4 years old, first flight June 2018. Oh, AOV dog, I take screenshots from my stream, so basically use the Canon. If I see a pretty screenshot, just take a screenshot with my MacBook and then edit it, pimp it a little bit in Lightroom, paste it in the thumbnail, voila, presto. Next up, KLM Flight 1000, Boeing 737-700 arriving from London Heathrow. We're back to arrivals for runway 06, so maybe they did a runway inspection and it was a temporary thing. Looks like all traffic is going back to 06 again. Hey Jorn, goedemorgen, good morning. So, you're right, temp account. The engine casings on the Estonian flag livery. It would have been nicer if they also made them dark blue and black or one of the two colors. And feel free to steal that one from me, pimping it in Lightroom. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. Anyway, KLM Flight 1000, Boeing 737-700 arriving from London Heathrow. The airplane is 14 years old. First flight was in March 2009. Hey Mol, goedemorgen, good morning. Hope you're doing well, good to see you again. So all other viewers who have meanwhile joined us, welcome to AMS Live. You're watching arrivals here on the Kaagbaan once again. My name is Boy. And for a brief moment we had arrivals on 36 Center, and now it's back to arrivals on 06. The prevailing wind is blowing from the north-northeast, so there is a little bit of crosswind from the left for the airplanes landing over here. It's not very warm at the moment, in combination with the wind, a bit chilly. It is going to stay dry. If I show you guys the big picture, you can see there are some friendly clouds in the sky, but there's no precipitation in the weather forecast for the Netherlands for the next week or so, at least. So it should be a beautiful day. Next up is KLM Flight 1710, Boeing 737-800 arriving from Porto in Portugal. The airplane underway now for 2 hours and almost 15 minutes. The airplane age 16 years. A very nice, gentle, controlled landing there. So, at the moment the pipeline is filled with narrow bodies. The next one is an Embraer 175. On one of the shortest flights there is from Amsterdam, Brussels in Belgium. KLM Flight 1722. The airplane departed from Brussels 25 minutes ago. The airplane is 6 years old, had its first flight in September 2016. Hey there, PPTT Cureboy. Goeiemorgen. Hey Liewe, hey Jessie, goedemorgen. Good morning to you both. Nice of you to join us. All other viewers who have in the meantime joined us, good morning to you too. Welcome to AMS Live. We're waiting for some heavies at the moment. The pipeline is filled with narrow bodies. I see that there is a Turkish A330 arriving. There's also some bigger airplanes over the United Kingdom still. Things will pick up eventually. For the time being, we'll have to make do with the narrow bodies that are arriving back to back. This one, KLM flight 1502, Embraer 190, arriving from Valencia, where it departed 2 hours and 11 minutes ago. The airplane is 9 years old, first flight October 2013. We can see that the triple arriving from Aguadilla is parking over here. Now we also see the Estonian flag A220 over there. And as I was setting up, or at least walking towards this location, I saw this Singapore Airlines Cargo 747 taxi to its parking. Now, interestingly, here we see that the nose is also opened. Don't see that very often, or at least I haven't seen it happen very often. So they are busy with loading and unloading still. Maybe we'll see her taxi away for departure later during the morning. Indeed, a very hungry 747 ALV dog. Indeed, Koenie. Vrachtvreter. Cargo eater. Literally translated. Hey, is that mama duck and a duckling? Again, focus on... Try pressing mama duck so that the camera focuses in on her. That is difficult when there's constantly stuff in the foreground blocking the view. So yeah, there is at least one duckling on the loose. There's a second one. Now, Peter, there were at least two, and I wouldn't be surprised if there were more out. Only two that I could quickly see from over here. Next up, another Air Baltic A220. This one arriving from Riga in the standard livery. Air Baltic flight 617, A220 300, 1 year old. First flight September 2021. Underway from Riga, departed an hour and 57 minutes ago. Huh, what do you know? A whistle that reminds me of the whistle you hear when an E2 Embraer 195 lands. Could it be a geared turbofan induced whistle? Anyway, yeah, how about that, Yorkshire? A non-KLM plane? What the F? Well, I'm sure there are more incoming. In fact, number 2 is also not KLM, but Polish Airlines. Now, before we're seeing that, we will see yet another Embraer from KLM. An Embraer 190, KLM flight 1084, arriving from Cork. 9 years old, first flight January 2014. Left Cork an hour and 28 minutes ago. Good morning, me myself. I don't think that they have the same engine ALV dog, but they do have geared turbofan engines. I'm thinking maybe that has something to do with it. Would be interesting. Do they have the same engines, the E2 Embraer 195s and the A220s? Very good question, by the way. Okay, YouTube fan says 36 center open for departures. Oh yeah, I can see one taking off in the distance. Hey Gosse, goedemorgen. Alles goed, jongen? Meanwhile, Mama Greep is visible a bit better from this point of view with her youngling. Only barely. They do need to cut the grass over here. Anyway, lest we forget, non-KLM flight. Whoops. Although it is yet another Embraer. This one not from KLM. Arriving from Warsaw. Okay, not the same engine, but both Pratt & Whitney geared turbofans. Okay, so it might have something to do with that then. They do share a similar whistle on landing when they pass you by. And now it is time for another Air Baltic, or is this an Air Baltic airplane lent out to Swiss? Huh. Arriving from Zurich. So this A220 300 is underway now from Zurich, an hour and 3 minutes. The airplane is brand new, was having its first flight last December. Let's listen if we can hear that whistle. Very clearly audible. Not too bad that there isn't an E2 Embraer 195 following immediately after. We'll have to make do with an A319 from Air Serbia, which is arriving from Belgrade. How long will it take the camera to focus without me going down with the camera? It is coming. Yeah, slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. This looks like proper focus. Okay. Air Serbia, flight 360, arriving from Belgrade, where this airplane left 2 hours and 3 minutes ago. It is an A319-100. 18 years old, first flight October 2004. Love the attention to detail. If you look to the engine casings, you can even see multicolored paint on that. Nice, nice. So, is that American? A Dreamliner? Huh. Good question there, Harry H. Why does an airplane have a red flashing light at the top and the bottom? Undoubtedly to be better visible. Yeah, no, I think I understood you in first instance, AOV dog. So they're not the exact same type, but they are probably relatives, which is logical because I don't think that there are a lot of geared turbofan manufacturers out there. Not sure if General Electric has them already, and particularly for the same average size of airplane, you would think there would be one type, or at least one family of engines. Anyway, Air France Embraer 117. Air France op, arriving from Marseille. Now we do have a heavy inbound, number 2 in fact, but not before we'll see Bulgaria Air A320 flight 461 arriving from Sofia. So here is the A320 and here is the triple behind it. Bulgaria Air A320 arriving from Sofia, where it left 2 hours 23 minutes ago. This airplane, 6 years old, had its first flight in June 2016. That looks like a very soft, gentle and controlled landing. Hey Willem, goedemorgen. This is the end of the Kaagbaan on the south side in a field of grass, which I will show you after this airplane has landed. This is KLM flight 592, arriving from Johannesburg, where it left 10 hours and 36 minutes ago. It is a 777-300ER, 2 years old, first flight December 2020. Listen to the 300 growl, or howl. So obviously the runway over here, main terminal building, and the tower over there. And over here you have a road, and there's a corner in the road, and from there you can walk into a grass field all the way over here, which nicely lines you up with the beginning of 06. And also when airplanes take off from 36 Center, you will be able to see them between the building and the advertising unit in the right, on the right, left. I always keep mixing left and right up. Right, next up, Boeing 737-800 from KLM, arriving from Lisbon. KLM flight 1692, underway now for 2.5 hours. The airplane is 15 years old, had its first flight in May 2008. Alrighty then. Hey gents, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. We are waiting for more heavies. Unfortunately, it's a bit quiet in that respect. Turkish A330 is nearby though, number 3, after yet another E2 Embraer 195 from KLM, so that is number 4. I'm pretty sure we've seen the whole lot now that is airborne. This one is coming in from Hamburg, flight 1778, where it left 43 minutes ago. The airplane 1 year old, first flight October 2021. Let's take a listen. I do think they sound similar. Would have to compare them back to back perhaps. Hey, good news! YouTube fan Kuni informing us, Marcel as well. Saudia 747 in Dutch airspace in the vicinity of Enschede. ETA about 30 minutes. So that is good news, folks. Next up, EasyJet flight 22513, Airbus A320 arriving from London Luton. There we go. So, arriving from London Luton, where it departed 43 minutes ago. The airplane, 4 years old, had its first flight in August 2018. And yes, ALV dog, I did end up having that burger. It was amazing after such a long time. I can tell you that if you keep yourself from indulging, it tastes that much better when you do let yourself have one. So next up is an A330 Turkish flight 1951. The infamous flight number we were mentioning earlier as well. Airbus A330 arriving from Istanbul. The airplane is underway now for 2 hours and 53 minutes. The airplane itself 8 years old, and its first flight was in June 2014. I think they make the floatiest landings on average. Not all, of course, but it's hard to see them ever make a hard landing. Thank you so much, MGS Aviation, for your kind super sticker. A rainbow clapperboard with the words "behind the scenes." I will have to look that up when I get home again. Good morning, Eodus Capital, and good morning, business. Steven Oskam, goedemorgen. Also back at it. Nice to see you, my friend. So, Steven says that in 45 minutes we will be seeing the BKA KLM 100 years livery arriving from New York JFK. Hey, Luca, good morning. Good to see you again, my friend. How's the weather over there in Italy? Hopefully it's a bit better than it was over the last week. I think we had more sun over here in Central, or what is it, Northern Europe, but around the Mediterranean things were not that great. So this is KLM flight 922. Embraer 175 arriving from Inverness in Scotland. The airplane departed an hour and 12 minutes ago. The airplane is 5 years old, had its first flight in January 2018. Also an Atlas 747 passing at flight level 370 from northwest to southeast. Well, it is a bit difficult to see what is going on with the current cloud conditions. The weather is almost the same as we have over here. Lucas says, well, That is good. Next up is an EasyJet A319. Let's have a look. EasyJet flight 22517 Airbus A319 arriving from London Luton, where it left 45 minutes ago. This airplane is 14 years old and had its first flight in July 2008. And following the A319, you already see the curvature of the wings. It is a Dreamliner. It is Air Madrid or Air Europa. Air Europa arriving from Madrid. Although they might also rename the company to Air Madrid. Hey Peppy, guten Morgen, servus. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Come on folks. Stop talking about hamburgers. You're making me start getting hungry. Now I want a burger too. Next up, Air Europa flight 1091, Boeing 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Madrid. This airplane left Madrid 1 hour and 57 minutes ago, and the airplane itself 3 years old. First flight August 2019. If you're new to the channel and you're liking what you're seeing, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. It greatly helps me to reach more people like you and me. We're also into aviation content such as this, and it also allows you to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live you get notified, and if you have the time for it and are feeling like it, can join us for more live streaming action over here from Schiphol Airport. Air Europa arriving from Madrid, 7879 Dreamliner. Right, and next up the third A220 for our Baltic at least, arriving from Vilnius. Another standard livery, Air Baltic flight 961. Hey there Jay Wandel, good morning. Nice to see you joining us on Pentecost Monday. For many a day off. So this is Air Baltic flight 961 arriving from Vilnius, where it left 2 hours and 3 minutes ago. This airplane is brand new according to Flight Radar. Had its first flight in August last year, so it is almost a year old. After that we are going to see an A321 from Finnair arriving from Helsinki. Now it is 10:30, so I am expecting a bit more heavies. They typically take off and arrive in the second half of the morning. Although I'm not sure how the schedule will look today. I did not check beforehand. It is of course a holiday over here, and in a lot of countries it is, so not sure if that affects the number of heavies that are inbound. Thanks for the kind words, Mol. Yeah, well, the weather is favorable to do live streams, so this is not something I am going to be able to do indefinitely, 5 days in a row. It is quite time consuming, and I also have other stuff in my life going that also require me to devote time and attention to them. But whenever it is possible and when the weather is good like today and the last week, it's just really nice to be out here instead of sitting inside behind a screen. Finnair A321 arriving from Helsinki, the airplane we saw land just now, 4 years old. First flight July 2018. Now next up, Aer Lingus arriving from Dublin. And the next heavy fifth in line, LL Dreamliner according to Steven, so that is good news. We have seen a lot of narrow bodies so far. It would be a good change to see some more heavies. Now first up will be Aer Lingus flight 602, Airbus A320 arriving from Dublin. This airplane left Dublin an hour and 12 minutes ago. The airplane is 12 years old and had its first flight in April 2011. Yeah, I think that is the one exception, Peter. When you're sitting inside behind the screen watching airplanes. I do agree that I like doing that as well. But if you have to use Word or Excel or PowerPoint all the time, typing stuff, alright, 10 minutes until the 747, Yorkshire says. So that's all the time that we got left for today. It's been a blast. Let me say goodbye. Nah. Hey there, NJ, checking in from Assen in the northeast of the country. Alles goed daar? Is it as cloudy over there in Assen as it is over here? Meanwhile, EasyJet flight 22161, Airbus A319 arriving from Manchester. The airplane left Manchester 54 minutes ago. The airplane 16 years old. First flight was in December 2006. Oh, I see that the hamburger topic is still not closed. Well, to be honest, I actually found a YouTube recipe for making your own Big Mac hamburgers, including the sauce, including the buns. I was thinking about maybe giving that a go, baking your own buns. Now obviously it's a recipe where you have to grind your own beef and make a smash patty from it. Now, as a vegetarian, obviously that is not something that I can incorporate in the recipe, but I can of course substitute it for something, I don't know, maybe from Beyond or something, but keep the rest the same. It did look very tasty. Anyway, 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Tel Aviv. 4 hours and 5 minutes underway. And look at the wing flex and how it vanishes once the spoilers go up. Poof. Anyway, the airplane, 5 years old, first flight February 2018. Whoa, maybe that is food for thought. AOV dog making a second channel with food live streaming stuff. Yeah, that could take off. That could become big. Hey Marissa, goedemorgen. Nice of you to join us again. We were just discussing hamburgers and live streaming it when you make it. Next up, Vueling. Flight 8300, Airbus A321, arriving from Barcelona. The airplane took off in Barcelona an hour and 57 minutes ago. The airplane itself is 7 years old, had its first flight in July 2015. Hamburgers. I like where this is going. The hamburger stream. Yeah, Marissa, things change. Change is the only constant in this channel, apparently. Now, we are expecting another Dreamliner from United. Number 2. First up, EasyJet flight 22921, arriving from Bristol. The airplane departed from Bristol 57 minutes ago. A320-200, 11 years old, first flight May 2012. And more heavies are getting closer by. So if you need to use the restroom, go now. If you feel the need to grab a fresh cup of coffee or make a cup of tea, do it now. One of the heavies is a Saudia 747-400 arriving from Jeddah. You don't want to miss that, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube fan says runway 27 also open for arrivals, question mark. That is interesting, because with the prevailing wind that seems a bit odd. I'm checking the baangebruik runway usage app and it still says that 206 is the only one for arrivals and 36 left and center are used for departures. Now, of course, that may change in practice. I don't see any airplanes just yet going for 27. Right. Okay, so SAS just landed there. Okay, interesting. United Airlines 7879 arriving from San Francisco, that was. 5-year-old airplane, first flight January 2018. Next up, a triple from KLM arriving from Cape Town. There we go. KLM flight 598, Boeing 777-300ER, arriving from Cape Town, where it departed 11 hours and 20 minutes ago. The airplane is 14 years old, had its first flight in May 2009. Yo, Evan, what's up, my man? You are just in time to see the first queen of the day, number 3, after the triple and a neo. Good to see you again, my friend. Is it a holiday in the United States as well? Hey there, Belgian Rail, good morning. Nice to see you all joining again. Folks, if you just joined us, welcome to AMS Live. Your timing is excellent. We will be seeing a Saudia 747 in a few minutes. Number 2. First up will be A320neo from EasyJet that my camera has a bit difficulty with focusing on. In the meantime, thank you so much, Evan, for your beaming face with smiling eyes super sticker. Always nice to have a beaming face. Now, A320neo in the foreground, Queen in the background. Let me forgo the A320neo and focus in on number 10 worldwide most tracked airplane, apparently on flight radar. Saudia Cargo Flight 933, Boeing 747-400 arriving from Jeddah. The airplane departed from Jeddah 5 hours and 28 minutes ago. It is a Boeing 747-400. And she's 26 years old. First flight was in November 1996. If you're new to the channel and you're liking what you're seeing so far, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Not only does it allow you to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future you receive a heads up and can join us for more live streaming action from ever bustling Schiphol Airport. It also helps me to reach more people like you and me who are also into content such as this. Next up, Saudia Cargo, Boeing 747 arriving from Jeddah, 26 years old. Also a disclaimer, this might get loud. friendly to boot. Gentle touchdown. Now the question is, will the Queen take a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn and taxi to either the north or south side of the cargo platform? For those of you unfamiliar with the layout of Schiphol, we have two parts where cargo airplanes can park, both located on both sides of runway 0624. The north side over here, and you can already see that there is a Singapore Airlines 747 that is being unloaded and reloaded, and there are a couple of 777s behind it. Now there's also the south side of the cargo area. You can see a few tails of big birds, cargo birds, that are parked over there. Hey Elske, goedemorgen. Just in time for the 747's arrival. Now I think we have our answer. It is making a right-hand turn, so it will, unfortunately for us, not be visible for a long time. Hey there Mike, checking in from the UK, good morning. Hopefully you were just in time to see the 747 land. In the meantime, behind me, a 737 from KLM arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle is almost touching down. I'll keep the camera on the 747 for a bit longer, although I will turn it around for the Dreamliner from KLM that is arriving after the 737. Hey there Leo, hey there Susanne, goedemorgen allemaal, good morning. You guys have perfect timing if you just tuned in and saw the Saudia 747 touchdown. Could enable digital zoom, maybe zoom in a bit further, although it will deteriorate the overall image quality. You can zoom in a bit further. Hey Yo-Yo Gracik, checking in from Surabaya, East Java. Good evening then. How nice that you are tuning in. Now folks, I am going to turn around the camera because there is a Dreamliner coming and we don't want to miss that. It is KLM flight 741, it is Boeing 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Cartagena, where it left 9 hours and 47 minutes ago. This Dreamliner is 7 years old and had its first flight in April 2016. Next up will be a Lufthansa A320 arriving from Frankfurt. If you haven't been to Schiphol since 2012, I can imagine that you can miss it a lot. Alrighty then. So this is Lufthansa flight 986. It is an A320 arriving from Frankfurt. Not too long of a flight. She left 55 minutes ago from Frankfurt. This airplane, 22 years old already, had its first flight in October 2000. Plane spotting in the McDonald's parking area. That is a very good place to do spotting from, Yo-Yo. It is not the place to be at this moment, because I don't think that a lot of traffic is landing there right now. All is still directed, the vast majority is still directed to this runway at the moment. We are expecting a Ryanair 737 from Dublin. Could be interesting to see how it is going to touch down. They do have a certain reputation for their landings. Well, that sure looks like a solid landing. Nothing too hard, nothing too... just a proper landing if you ask me. Now, it is still a bit chilly over here. It is also still a bit windy over here. Let me also do an update of the weather for you guys. As we are waiting for new heavy arrivals. Seems that the wind hasn't changed significantly. No. Must have to update the size as well. There you go. So just for your guys' information, some of you are wondering what is that thing in the ticker. It is the weather. Shows you the time of the weather forecast and also the wind. 13 knots, 030 degrees, varying between 350 degrees and 070 degrees. Visibility is good. Few scattered clouds, 13 degrees centigrade, and also the air pressure. No significant weather, so no significant rain or clouds or other stuff that you need to be worried about. Next up, a CRJ 900 from SAS, flight 2551. Arriving from Copenhagen. Mitsubishi CRJ 900 long range, 7 years old, first flight March 2016, and this airplane departed from Copenhagen an hour and 5 minutes ago. A pencil with sunglasses look. So the prevailing wind hasn't changed. It has increased a little bit, maybe in severity. Still a little bit of crosswind from the left for the airplanes landing on 06 then. And next up will be Korean Air Cargo 777 freighter. Flight 8517 arriving from Frankfurt, a short flight. The airplane departed from Frankfurt 57 minutes ago. It is a 777 freighter, 10 years old, first flight June 2012. Again, one of those birds hovering. Now, will the Korean go to the left or to the right? That's the question. It is making a left-hand turn, so we will be able to see it to its park in its parking place in a few moments. But before that, we will first have a look at this A320neo that is arriving from London Heathrow. Hey Janus, good morning. Hopefully it is a bit warmer over there in Athens than it is over here. Hey Amelie, good morning. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Well, Pepsi Air is still on the move. Will be a few more minutes before we'll see it arrive over here. In the meantime, we can have a look at another Lufthansa A320 arriving from Frankfurt. Lufthansa flight 988. Flight time 51 minutes so far. Airplane is 8 years old. First flight January 2015. Ooh, that is nice, Jonas. Over here it is not so warm, 13 degrees. The latest meteorology update. Plus constant wind. I'm standing here with my AMS live hoodie on, but I am getting a little bit chilly forearms. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on the stream again. Enjoy the shopping and looking forward to seeing you again in one of the upcoming streams. Have a nice day and see you soon, mate. Now another EasyJet A320 will be coming soon. It is flight 28674, arriving from London Gatwick, where it left 50 minutes ago. This A320-200 is 7 years old, had its first flight in April 2016. Marcel says that runway 27 is in use as well. Still find that an interesting choice given the prevailing wind. But seasoned viewers by now should know that leave it up to Schiphol to sometimes make not obvious choices in terms of runway usage. Pepsi Air still on its way over here. We'll probably park somewhere here, maybe after the Singapore Airlines 747. K3 also showing its face, saying hi. And in the meantime, a few KLM heavies are arriving. The first one is this KLM flight 636. Boeing 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Las Vegas. Flight time of this airplane 9 hours 37 minutes. The airplane is 6 years old and had its first flight in June 2016. KLM flight 636. That's a very nice, gentle, controlled landing. Yeah, I think you're right, Marissa. They have that runway closed for maintenance. I think. Next up, KLM flight 644. It is the 787-10 Dreamliner in the 100 years livery, arriving from New York JFK, where this airplane left 6 hours and 30 minutes ago. The airplane is 3 years old and wind blew off the camera. 3 years old, first flight June 2019. Now you see flex. And now you don't anymore. Back from New York. And earlier in the stream, those landings were on center, Steven. So next up, yet another Embraer 190 KLM arriving from Prague. Just about make it out in the distance, still a bit out. KLM flight 1352. The airplane is 11 years old, first flight was in January 2012. It is an Embraer 190 that left Prague an hour and 14 minutes ago. After that we are going to see an A350 from Delta Airlines arriving from Atlanta, already visible a bit to the left. Ah, interesting. Indeed, Steven. KLM flight 1822 missed the landing. Hey Wilma, goedemorgen. We staan hier bij de Kaagbaan vandaag. So... interesting to see that the E2 Embraer 195 that was supposed to land on 27 missed and is now looking to come this way. Given the prevailing wind, as I said before, it does seem more logical to have all the inbound traffic come this way. So the traffic pattern is getting relatively full. Hey there Lorenzo, hey there Peter PDK, hey there Ashwin, good morning to you all. I hope you're doing well on this Monday, Pentecost Monday, a day off for many of us. And check it out, ladies and gentlemen, the first A350 of the day, Delta Airlines flight 74. A350-900 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, where it departed 8 hours and 9 minutes ago. This airplane is 3 years old and had its first flight in June 2019. They do sound very modest when they pass you by, don't they? No whistles or howls or anything. Nice little application of the thrust reversers there. Next up is going to be an SAS plain Jane plane. White liveried Airbus A380. Flight 1553 arriving from Stockholm. This airplane left Stockholm an hour and 40 minutes ago. A320-200, 16 years old, first flight November 2006. What is next in the pipeline? A737-800 and then the E2 Embraer 195 that missed the landing on 27. Second attempt, first try on 06, but its second attempt at landing will follow as number 3. Just out of curiosity, hey, where is the Pepsi? Has it crossed to the south side after taxiing back on the north side? Sneaky mother, it did. You can see it now being parked. You can see its tail on the far left. Okay, so he pulled one on us. Indeed, Marissa crossed the runway to the south side after making us think it was going to park in better in view. Too bad. Smart wings. Smart wings arriving from Nice. 737-800, 14 years old. First flight January 2009. Now, out of sight you could hear the quack. Ah, there we go. We have a duck. It almost looked like they were going to have an encounter, the duck and the coot. Yeah, quack quack. And in the meantime, a lady duck just landed. Is she still visible? Yeah, over there. Ah, well, I'm happy to report that the nest of ducklings is still a bit bigger than we initially feared. So that's still 5 that I am counting over here. Are there any others on the side? That I don't see. Anyway, the E2 from Berlin, second attempt, first one over here. Went around after initially trying to land on runway 27. And you can see over here, no issues when they land in this direction. Hey Aphrodite, goedemorgen, good morning, good to see you again. and let us celebrate with David his 1 month membership. Good morning to you, David. Nice to see you again on the stream. Hope you're doing well, mate. Happy Pentecost Monday to all, insofar as you are celebrating it. To be honest, I have no idea what it is that we should be celebrating. I know what we celebrate, or what allegedly has happened during Easter, Ascension Day, but that is about it for me. Says more about me than anything. So, Air Canada, Dreamliner. Magnificent machine. Setting foot on Dutch soil after having flown 6,000 kilometers from Toronto to Amsterdam. Flight 808, 7879 Dreamliner, 7 years old. First flight April 2016. Hey there, Angelic. Good morning. Ah, you guys have Memorial Day today. And Sam informing us that there's a 777 coming. Hey, see you later, man. Sam saying that there's a 777 coming in 5 minutes. Excellent. Yeah, the pipeline is filling up. Okay, Suzanne. Nice of you to join us. Studeer ze zo meteen. And James checking in from sunny Barnsley. Thank you so much for your kind words. Do send some of that sunshine warmth over here. Yesterday, after having done streaming and everything that you do afterwards, such as updating the thumbnail, eating something, I went for a walk in the dunes of the Amsterdam Water Company. Beautiful nature, dune landscape, also a lot of deer over there. But I went in my t-shirt and in my shorts and it was still warm. And now I'm standing here with jeans on, socks on, long socks, a hoodie on, but it is still a bit chilly. It's particularly because of the wind. What a difference a day can make. Still, it is mostly sunny over here and the wind makes for interesting conditions over here. Ah, Michael Jackson back in Florida. Welcome back and happy Memorial Day. Kampask, good morning. Good to see you again. So over here it is Pentecost Monday. We have 2 days of Pentecost. If I pronounce that properly. KLM flight 1002 arriving from London Heathrow. One of the many flights between Amsterdam and London. Over here in the Netherlands, we always remember the veterans and those who have fallen during previous wars on May 4th. That is our Remembrance Day, and then on May 5th we have our Liberation Day, the day that we celebrate that the Netherlands got liberated from German occupation back in the Second World War. Next up is a Tarom Boeing 737-800 flight 361 arriving from Bucharest after a flight of 2 hours and 28 minutes. The airplane is 6 years old, had its first flight in April 2017. Ooh. That is not nice, losing a leg. Fighting the Germans in September 44. Next up is going to be Lufthansa flight 2302 Airbus A319 in the Star Alliance livery, originating from Munich. An hour and 7 minutes underway. The A319 is 25 years old and had its first flight in August 1997. Hey there Klaus, hey there Jerry, good day to you both. Hope you're doing well. Now, there is a triple underway after this Airbus has landed. Right, so next up is going to be another triple, KLM flight 682, arriving from Vancouver.
Hallo.
Hi.
Live.
Ja, zeker. So this is KLM flight 682, Boeing 777-300ER, arriving from Vancouver, Canada after a flight of 8 hours and 18 minutes. The airplane that we are seeing is 8 years old and had its first flight in March 2015. Listen to that growl, that howl. That is a typical 777-300 howl that you hear on triples, but also on freighters, but not so much on the 200s for some reason. Don't know if it has to do with the engines, if it is just an engine specific thing. Sorry?
Waarom bent u live?
Oh, op YouTube. AMS Live. Dat is mijn kanaal. There's a young man standing next to me who is very curious to see what I was doing. So he was just asking where he can find the live stream. In the meantime, since it is a day off, there are many people that have gathered here over in the meantime, both on the left and on the right. I can also show you people going further out in the field, more towards the approach lights. Everybody has cameras with big lenses, or at least almost everybody. It is just a very nice place to do some filming or photography from. So this is Transavia, flight 5624, Boeing 737-800, arriving from Palma de Mallorca. Hello there, Darth Cloud. Hello there. Hey there, Roy. And no, Aaron, there are no fences. Schiphol is secured, if you can call it that, just by canals. And Wilma, I am over on the south side of runway 06 in a field further down. When you enter it a bit further down the road. So few heavies are inbound, but first this 737-900 KLM flight 1228 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, where it left 40 minutes ago. This airplane is 21 years old already and had its first flight in September 2001. So I guess this is not the 747 carrying the rocket, the space shuttle, or maybe she ditched the young one, needed some me time. So two flights, consecutive flights from Bonaire. First KLM flight 767, which is an A330-300. Don't get confused about that. Arriving from Bonaire. The airplane left 9 hours 19 minutes ago. This Airbus is 11 years old, had its first flight in February 2012. Okay, Wilma, going to the Polderaan. I think it is, if you don't get to visit very often, it is the safest bet to go there. Now let me quickly turn around the camera because there is another airplane arriving from Bonaire. Yes, once again, TUI, flight 703. Boeing 787-8. First flight was 8 years ago, March 2015. This Dreamliner has a shorter flight time, 9 hours and 13 minutes. Whoa! It is a bit strange. I have no idea what goes on there, Roy, but let's celebrate nonetheless. Thank you for your ongoing support there, Roy. And Aaron says good morning from Groningen. Not at Teugen this time round. Last day of the short vacation. And the Fraser 555 says hi from Glasgow. Loving it. Thank you so much for joining and thanks for your kind words there. Happy to hear that people are enjoying the content. I do my best. Now in the meantime, more wildlife over here. We saw two of them last time I was here, and one of them had some loot. There was speculation about whether it was a rabbit's head or whether it was a bird or something like a mouse. In the meantime, there are also two coots that are, well, it looked like they were in a turf war, chasing each other away. EasyJet landing. Bird controller in the Ford Ranger K2 this time round. We saw K3 earlier. And of course there's also a special K9 patrol with dogs only. Although I haven't seen them yet. They are rumored to exist. Or maybe that is just in my imagination. Hey there, Blackbirds, good to see you again. Right, so what is in the pipeline, ladies and gentlemen? Well, another E2 Embraer 195, believe it or not, number 3. No, number 2, sorry. Also ITA Air, Airways. Hey there, Matti, good morning. And K2 indeed, great mountain, great skis. Although last couple of times I've been out skiing, I went for the head super shape, the green ones. I always like to make the joke that the girl in the ski rental shop gave me head, but yeah, I'm talking about the skis. They are good skis. K2 too, by the way. I always rent my skis so that I can switch it up a little, try new brands, try the latest and the greatest. Alright, ALV Dog, it's been a pleasure to have you on the stream again. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See you again soon, mate. And thank you so much for your kind words, Michael. Super leuke stream, I like this. Well, thank you so much. I am glad that you are enjoying. So this is, I think, the 4th or the 5th E2 Embraer 195. This one arrival from Munich. I was wondering what I was hearing. Let me see if I can show you guys. There was a little coot, a baby coot. I think it is further out. Yeah, there it is. Thought I heard something, but it's the baby coot. Cute coot. Anyway, Joey Tuck says goedemiddag. Is it afternoon already? Still morning over here, but good afternoon to you already. Nice of you to join us, Joey. All other viewers who have joined us in the meantime, don't be shy. Feel free to say hi in the chat. If you have questions, let us know. If there's something you want to share with us, let us know. Friendly folk in the chat. Here we have the beautiful dark blue from ITA Airways. This is flight 120 arriving from Milan. A320 left Milan an hour and 25 minutes ago. The airplane is 13 years old. First flight was in June 2009. Meanwhile, Lucas-san says, good morning from Brazil. Good morning to you too. Hope you're doing well. Look at that blue, beautiful blue. And then the Italian tricolore on the tail as well. I really like this livery. I mean, KLM blue is beautiful, but I think in my book ITA Airways blue just a tad nicer. And Aanrecht Televisie says this has to be the best YouTube channel. Thumbs up. Well, thank you so much for that. Those are big words. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your compliment. Thank you. Hey there, Francis. Good morning. So, KLM, Koninklijke Luchtvaartmaatschappij. Royal Aviation Company. That is the translation. So this is Delta Airlines flight 162, Airbus A330-300 arriving from Minneapolis after an 8-hour and 6-minute flight. Finally, a few big birds again. About time. The airplane we are seeing touching down in a very gentle, buttery, dare I say it, A330 way. 15 years old, first flight, August 2007. And Doodleman remarking that lots of windows were closed. Well, that is not too strange, given the fact that the sun is actually out over here. So you would typically see a lot of the windows the window blinds down on the right hand side of the airplane right now. As many of you will know, it can get warm in those cabins. Alright, so no more queens coming then, Marissa, for the time being. We are awaiting a couple of Neos at the moment. A lot of Neos actually. Another from ITA also underway. Another Delta A330 nearby. Dreamliner 10 arriving from LAX over the North Sea, also getting closer by. Anyway, was just doing a quick inventory on flight radar to see what we might be expecting. In the meantime, another EasyJet Neo. Oh, banking left and right a little. Nothing too concerning. Hey there, Lisa, good morning. How nice of you to join us again. Hope you're doing well. So I think for now still, let me double check. Yeah, Kagbaan 06 is still the only runway in use for arrivals at the moment. Everything is coming this way, so that is good news. In the meantime, I saw that David just gifted 5 AMS Live memberships. Thank you so much for your kind, generous donation, David. I really appreciate it, and thank you. Welcome to all new members to the AMS Live Aurora Sky Lounge. Now, let's see. What time is the Emirates A380 expected to land? That is also somewhere 1 p.m. in the vicinity. I mean, if there is a 747 expected, is it in time, or is it ahead of schedule? Let's see, I started this stream 9:15 approximately. If there is an A380 and a 747 expected within 15 minutes of each other around 1 p.m, it might be worth sticking around for. 12:09? You sure? Oh wow. So, but that means that... Okay. So the A380 is indeed expected just before 1 p.m. Am I correct in understanding that? Or am I understanding that correctly? So next up, Aegean Airlines A320neo arriving from Athens, where this airplane departed 3 hours ago. It is a brand new airplane that had its first flight in February this year. Beautiful. So as far as I'm concerned, airplane manufacturers should incorporate two traits into all of their new aircraft, as far as I'm concerned. Sunglasses, cockpit windows, and curved winglets. And the Aegean was coming from Athens, the capital of Greece, Michael. And there is an A380 passing just north of Amsterdam at flight level 390. Let's indulge in looking at contrails for a moment. Always a bit hard to see, but I think... Let's have a look. Is that a quad engine? Is that it? I am zoomed in the most I can with optical zoom right now. Looks like it is a quad jet. Oh, look at that, a conjunction of two. Ah, it is it. It is the A380. Awesome. Anyway, we have another heavy inbound. Let's not forgo that over the A380 that is very far out and very distant. Here we have Delta Airlines Flight 136, Airbus A330-300 arriving from Detroit. After a flight of 7 hours and 26 minutes, this airplane is 16 years old and had its first flight in March 2007. And it is hard to see A330s make hard landings. They are almost always buttery smooth. And in the meantime, I saw this stupendous super chat from E. Patterson. Thank you so much. This is insane, man. Really, thank you so much. What a generous donation that is for the Deltas, including Delta Flight 136 arriving from Detroit. Well, we certainly did not miss that one. And you thought it was a little bouncy. Well, I think compared with all the other airplanes, it was not too bad, but maybe for an A330 a little bouncy. I think the people on board would not have experienced it as being a bumpy landing, let me put it like that. In the meantime, Transavia, one of the many, arriving from Nice in France, 737-800s, Flight 5584, 20 years old. First flight June 2000. Hey, that is nice to know, Stephen. Thank you for the update. Icelandair is out 52 minutes with a 757. That one is actually nicknamed the Pencil, the 757. We sometimes also refer to the CRJs as pencils, flying pencils. Now before the ITA Air, we have a beautiful squadron of little ducklings over here in the water. So are they 5 or 6? I think 6. I think there's... Where is it 5?
There comes the next one.
Yeah. Also ducklings. Little ducks in the water with their mama. Also very interesting. The young man who just stood next to me and was curious about where he could see the content, remarking that the next airplane was coming. So here it is, ITA Airways flight 108, arriving from Rome. It is a Neo, and look at that, beautiful. Also with the sunglasses look, cockpit windows, which even though they don't stand out as much as when the livery is in a wider shade, a lighter color I should say, or white, even with the darker blue it does make a nice combination. So next up, A320 from Iberia Express or Iberia? Yeah, Iberia Express. Flight 3722. Airbus A320. Left Madrid 2 hours and 4 minutes ago. There we go. This airplane is 19 years old and had its first flight in September 2003. Indeed, travel with Mark F, bird spotting and plane spotting, and we even talked about maybe doing a food preparation live stream on a secondary channel as well. That was just banter, mind you. We spoke about hamburgers and prepping them, making your own buns, etc. And some people jokingly said that they would be interested in watching me do that live on a stream. But yeah, particularly in this time of year with all the birds in the water having young ones, makes for a nice change and a nice mix, particularly if they, like the Grebe was doing earlier, carry her young one on her back. Such a cute sight. Right, next up, Dreamliner from LAX, 787-10 Dreamliner, flight 604, arriving from Los Angeles. This airplane departed from Los Angeles 9 hours and 41 minutes ago. The airplane itself, 2 years old. First flight was in December 2020. is the flex. Hey petje. Nice, nice, nice. So there are people all over, on the left, on the right, and some people also found the stream, letting me know that they are also in the vicinity. It is a holiday over here. 2 A320s. And Steven says that there's an A340-600 passing at flight level 390. Would that be this one? Is this a quad jet? I think it might be. It does have the resemblance of an Airbus A340. It is at least a quad engine. So where is this originating from and where is it going to? Still at flight level 390, so still cruising. From Chicago to Munich. Okay, awesome. Well, it is good weather to see contrails over here. This one indeed passing just north of me. There's some other stripes in the sky over here as well. Also another incoming airplane. This one would be Austrian Airlines. Arriving from Vienna, Wenen. So after 1 hour and 29 minutes of flight, this 23-year-old airplane just touched down. First flight of this airplane was in February 2000. Hey there Milou, goeiedag. Ah, leaving in the A380 in 2 weeks from now. I do sometimes stream in the afternoon, but I think morning suits my agenda better. Next up is KLM flight 1154 Embraer 190 arriving from Gothenburg. It is underway now for 1 hour and 11 minutes. The airplane is 14 years old, had its first flight in April 2009. Hey Joey, goeiedag vriend. Alles goed? Ooh. Almost looked like it flared a little bit too soon there. Hey there, Maison 2022. Good morning. Good morning to you too. And Jens informing us that there are 2 777s inbound, so that is very nice. Before that, we will first see yet another Embraer 190 from KLM, flight 1342, arriving from Billund. So this airplane left Billund 47 minutes ago. The airplane itself, 13 years old, had its first flight in July 2009. And after that we are going to see the first of the triples arriving from Panama City. Ah no, Peter has to go. My friends, you're missing out on the heavies that are expected in a few minutes. But if you have to go, you have to go. Obviously. Bad timing though, bad timing. Now the wind is definitely not slowing down yet. Me myself is informing us of a Lufthansa 747 flying from east to west. I don't see any contrails from the east to the west at the moment. Maybe I'm a bit late with looking up. Maybe it is flying further out. I don't have it in sight, at least right now. Right, it is triple time, and this one is KLM flight 758, arriving from Panama City after a 9-hour and almost 50 minutes flight. The airplane 15 years old, first flight March 2008. Good morning, Trevor, checking in from Norwich. TNC also from the UK checking in. Good morning to you both. Welcome to the stream. All other viewers as well, welcome to AMS Live. If you're new to the channel, my name is Boy. We're standing next to runway 06, the Kaagbaan, currently in use for arrivals as the only runway again, I think it is the only runway again. Looking further out, I don't see any traffic landing on 27. There were a few landings on 27, but the prevailing wind is blowing from the northeast, as it has been for over a week now. So not the best runway to land on right now. We did also see a missed approach that had to land on 06. Now it is triple time, so we just saw the first of the 3 triples. This is going to be the second of the 3, KLM flight 736. I have to keep it in focus, of course. This one arriving from Willemstad in Curaçao after a 9-hour and at the moment 2-minute flight. The airplane you're seeing, 2 years old. First flight was in January 2021. Another 777-300ER. We're going to hear the same growl. After that we are going to see an Emirates Sky Cargo 777 that is arriving from Dubai, which is a 777 freighter. So again, the same hull, the same whistle, if you will. And it's Doodleman 123 says my aunt and uncle are in there. So how cool is that to see them land safely in a few minutes? There you go. Safety on the ground. Hey there, Cathay Spotter. Good morning. Good to see you again. Now, no time to linger on this triple, because the third of the 3 triples consecutive back-to-back is approaching. Emirates Sky Cargo Flight 9989. It is a 777 originating from Dubai after a 6-hour and 22-minute flight. This airplane is 10 years old and had its first flight in December 2012. It is a 777 freighter. Luca, do you have to go? Too bad. Enjoy the rest of your day, my friend. It was a pleasure to have you on the stream again. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. Now the question, of course, is going to be, will it take a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn? This being a cargo jet, it is undoubtedly going to park either on the south side of the runway, where one part of the cargo area is, or on the north side. Now, I have to say, most of the time I've seen the Emirates triples parked over here. In fact, there is already one parked over there that we also saw land earlier. So I'm guessing it is going to land over here, or it's going to park over here. You can see it already having taken a left-hand turn. Now that doesn't necessarily mean it is going to park over here, because we saw with the Pepsi Korean Air earlier that it did take an initial left-hand turn, came back on the left-hand side, and then still crossed the runway. Enjoy your spot of lunch, PPTT Cure Boy. Eet smakelijk. Alrighty. Embraer 175, KLM flight 1884, arriving from Nuremberg first. And after the plane has passed us by, we can take a look and see what the Emirates Sky Cargo is going to do. Where exactly it is going to park. Is that it? Or is it still further out? Ah yeah, that is it. Okay, well, Peter really has to go now, so bye bye. Thanks for joining us. See you later, alligator. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. At Cathay Spotter, I'm doing well. It is a bit windy over here, and even though the sun is out, it is a little bit chilly, but as long as I can operate the camera properly, and I still think I can, I'm good over here. So next up is going to be yet another Embraer 175 from KLM, arriving from Aberdeen. There we go. Had to find it first. But there you go. KLM flight 1442, arriving from Aberdeen. hour and 6 minutes of flight. And this airplane 5 years old, first flight January 2018. Me myself says that the Emirates A380 has an ETA of 12:54. I am going to stick around for the A380. Now, wasn't there also a 747 expected around that time? Can somebody update me about that? I think it was just around 1 p.m, wasn't it? So next up, another E2 Embraer 195 from KLM, this one arriving from Manchester. KLM flight 1072. Almost touching down after 50 minutes of flight. This airplane 1 year old, first flight was in February 2022. Hey there Amy, thank you so much for joining us again. Happy Pentecost Monday. Or Memorial Day if you're in the United States. Next up is KLM flight 1724, Boeing 737-800 arriving from Brussels. Short flight, this airplane departed from Brussels 28 minutes ago. The airplane itself is 22 years old, had its first flight in July 2000. Hey Richard, goedemiddag. Sky Vision doesn't ring a bell to me. Probably a rental company or leasing firm or something. Now, if you're getting withdrawal symptoms from not having seen a heavy for too long, then let me reassure you, there is an Embraer 190 coming in, and number 2 behind it is another triple. So both in view right now. On the right side we have the Embraer 190 and on the left we have the triple. The triple is from Etihad, no less. Right, let's zoom or pan to the airplane in the foreground first. This is KLM flight 1764. It is an Embraer 190 arriving from Frankfurt after a flight of 53 minutes. This Embraer is 11 years old and had its first flight in January 2012. And thank you for the kind words, Mac Yort. Now brace yourself, we are expecting an Etihad Cargo triple. This might get a little loud. Etihad flight 913 arriving from Abu Dhabi after a 6 hour and 13 minute flight. This is a 777 freighter. 10 years old, first flight January 2013. So no application of the reverse thrust apparently. An involuntary night shift for Evan there. Right turn, Marissa says, question mark. Well, good question. I think no. Unless it too will taxi back to over the left side first and then cross over to the right as the Korean Air did earlier. And Singapore 747 pushing back, so making room for the new arrival. See, I forgot to put my bottles of water in my backpack. I was afraid I was going to have lukewarm water, but it's not too bad. Meantime, Pegasus arriving. Alright, well, Cathay Spotter has to go back to work again. Have a good working day then. Try to make the most of it. And thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again soon. So, at the moment there are Transavia 737s inbound, 2 back to back. The first one a 700, the second one an 800. Something we've seen several times already. Let's see what is going to happen with the Etihad. Hey, there you go. It looks like it might cross the runway after all, similar to what the Korean Air was doing, giving us the false idea that it might be parking over here in the vicinity of the Singapore 747. Now, what will happen? It's almost like a duel. Well, we'll see soon enough. Hey Infinity, goedemiddag. And I think, Richard, that you shouldn't have to worry about those rentals from Corendon. I'm pretty sure that they would not enter into business with unreliable airplane rental companies. There are safety measures and regulations that they all need to abide by, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Aviation is still the safest way of transportation. So while we are awaiting the arrival of the Emirates A380, we first will see this KLM Embraer 175 arrive from Bristol. KLM flight 1050. The Etihad triple hasn't moved a lot yet. Hey there, Rafael, who says good morning from Buenos Aires. Thank you for sharing this great spotting session. Well, you're welcome. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are enjoying yourself, and all other viewers who have in the meantime joined us but are keeping quiet, welcome. Feel free to interact with everybody in the chat. If you have a question, if you just want to say hi, don't be afraid to do so. If you're watching this and you're thinking, hey, this is nice stuff, and you want to see more of this, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I go out for live streaming regularly, although I am not adhering to a fixed schedule. So if you want to be informed about when I'm going out, and subscribing and turning on notifications is definitely the most handy way to do so. As a bonus, you'll also help me reach more people like you and me that are into aviation live streaming content such as this. But it is certainly handy if you want to know when I am going live again. David has to go back to work as well. What is it that everybody has to work on a holiday? I feel sorry for you guys. It's been a pleasure to have you on the stream, David. Thank you so much for joining once again, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in one of the upcoming streams. Jorn informing us that the A380 is inbound and expected in about 30 minutes or so. Now, I am going to call it a day after the arrival of the A380. And until then, we'll have to make do with what is in the pipeline at this moment. Coming this way, Embraer 190 from KLM, arriving from Dublin, flight 934. A flight time of 1 hour and 11 minutes at the moment, and the airplane is 5 years old, had its first flight in February 2018. And meanwhile we can see that the Etihad triple is coming this way. Has the Queen already taken off? She has. She snuck away without saying goodbye. So yeah, I'm guessing that the the triple will get its parking spot. Oh, that is a late nighter for you then, Angelic. Okay, thanks for the update, Marissa. The A380 currently flying over Münster in Germany. And in the meantime, an A321 arriving from London Gatwick. Speedbird. I think I can still hear a little. Yeah, I think it is the baby coot that we are hearing in the distance. You guys can probably pick it up on the mic as well. Still pressing on coot so that my camera focuses on it instead of the. I thought I saw the young one still on that side of the water. And is that the Grebe with the baby on its back? I think it is. I think it's still. I think it is still on its back. Yeah, it is still on its back. Mama aircraft carrier. Ah, okay, so Michael Jackson, that means that blue streak has now become gray streak? I think that would be fitting for as an airline ages that it becomes a gray streak. Yeah, well, Marissa, there's always a next plane, that's the thing. Hey JDV, goedemiddag. Groeten uit Gouda. It is good weather for streaming. Well, don't feel too bad about getting grey hair at 63, Michael. As long as you're graying elegantly. I think a lot of men will prefer getting grey over getting bald. And it can make for a more distinguished look. Aging gracefully. And 19 Bootsy 68 says, good afternoon from Newcastle. First time watching you. And you are on the flight from Dubai on June 12th. Okay. Well, if I'm here to film it, you can rest assured that I will film the arrival. Don't know so far in advance yet what I'm going to do. Oh, Steven says 747 just took off from center. That I should be able to capture. In the meantime, I've learned that things taking off from center should become visible over here. Has it already airborne? Is it already... well, I'm not seeing it. Has it already taken off? From center, right? Well, the backdrop is a bit milky. I think it has already left. Again, too late for me. In the meantime, an update that the A380 is now in the vicinity of Enschede. Thanks for that, Marius. We're also going to see another heavy in a few moments. First up is going to be this KLM 737-800, flight 1278 inbound from Edinburgh. Left an hour and 5 minutes ago. The airplane itself 12 years old. First flight March 2011. So if you just tuned in, welcome, you're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, this is runway 06, the Kaagbaan. Currently the only runway in use for arrivals. The prevailing wind is blowing from the north-northeast, 030 to 040 degrees, 40 knots approximately. The temperature is a bit on the low side compared with the previous couple of days, around just below 15 degrees Celsius, so in the high 50s to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun is out, no precipitation in the forecast. And this is the next airplane to arrive, Delta Airlines flight 164. It is an Airbus A330-300. She's arriving from Minneapolis, where she left 8 hours and 3 minutes ago. The airplane is 16 years old and had its first flight in November 2006. Are we having issues with the voiceover mic? Is that just Yorkshire, or are other people also experiencing something similar? Yes, Mike, fine. What are you meaning, Aphrodite, Mike here too? Is the audio good or not? Alright, let's see. DJI mic should be working fine. Well, my nose is a bit stuffy from the low temperature and wind. Let me just turn off the DJI mic transmitter and turn it on again. Last time that helped. So I just turned off and on the DJI mic transmitter again. Does it make a difference? Has it improved anything? Alrighty then. Next up, German Airways Embraer 190 arriving from Stavanger. I think it is a rental from KLM, KL flight 1198. Arriving from Stavanger, where it left an hour and 10 minutes ago. This Embraer 190 long range is 17 years old and had its first flight in January 2006. Okay, so thanks for letting me know, and do let me know if the voiceover mic changes. Thus far, just turning off and on again the DJI mic wireless transmitter has solved that issue. Okay, well, in that case, business as usual once again. Next up, another Embraer 190, and after that we are going to see a 777-200 arriving from Lima. First up, KLM flight 982, Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Short flight. This airplane departed from London 41 minutes ago. The airplane is 13 years old and had its first flight in June 2009. Well, the chocolate one is the one we haven't seen yet, which is exceptional because normally there is not a stream that has gone by without us seeing the chocolate livery from German Airways. Here is KLM flight 744 777-200. She's arriving from Lima after a flight of 12 hours and 11 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Half a day already in the air, almost touching down. It is a 777-200 ER, 19 years old. First flight was in April 2004. And welcome back, Belgian Rail, just in time to see the triple from Lima land. And indeed, it is a long flight, more than half a day already. Are you guys hearing the absence of that howl that you hear when the 300 or a freighter passes by? Surely it has to do with the engines. Good news. Jorn says that the Icelandair 757 is out and is expected in 4 minutes from now. Meanwhile, the wind has definitely not slowed down. It looks like it is picking up, rather. Next airplane to arrive. Let me fixate the tripod for a minute so the vibrations are a bit less. KLM flight 984 Embraer 190 arriving from London City, where this airplane departed 39 minutes ago. The airplane itself 13 years old. First flight was in March 2010, and the A380 is now in the vicinity of Emmeloord, so still has to fly southwest, downwind so to speak, which means we can also pick it up perhaps on the left, as it is ending its downwind leg and will be turning base eventually. So I think we should be able to see it. Let me also zoom out on flight radar a bit so I can have a look as well. Quickly going to enable image stabilization. Hopefully it will make for a bit less bumpy footage for you guys. There we go, image stabilizer enabled. A380 expected in 12 minutes. Next up, another Embraer. There we go. Focus. There we go. KLM flight 1060, Embraer 175, arriving from Cardiff after it departed over there 58 minutes ago. This airplane is 5 years old, had its first flight in November 2017. And there is the Saudia or the Etihad cargo. They are already busy unloading it. Right, now one more Embraer and then we're going to see the Icelandair Pencil, the 757. Really nice to see that one again in real life. First up, another flight from Berlin inbound, Embraer 190. The other one was a E2 Embraer 195, if I recall correctly. This is KLM flight 1820, arriving from Berlin, where it left an hour ago. This Embraer 190 is 13 years old and had its first flight in February 2010. Going to quickly turn around. Look at that. Don't see them very often anymore these days. Icelandair Flight 500 arriving from Reykjavik in Iceland. A flight time of 2 hours and 42 minutes thus far. Boeing 757-300. 21 years old. First flight February 2002. Not really a steep flare or anything, quite a flat approach. Well, I'm not sure about the Hawker, Stephen. Does it show on flight radar? I have inbound filter for Amsterdam on and I don't see it. I do see that the A380 is now near Almere. And there's also a couple of heavies that are arriving from the North Sea. H25B. Now where would that be? I'm filtering inbound Schiphol and okay. So we were talking about how we didn't see the chocolate German Airways Embraer 190 yet. This stream, well, obviously the stream could not end without having seen the chocolate liveried Leysieffer Chocolaterie special livery from German Airways. The DAPRI, a frequent visitor of the stream, sometimes even twice in a single stream. Arriving from Stuttgart this time around. A short flight, 1 hour and 5 minutes. The airplane 15 years old. First flight January 2008. I'm seeing that the H25B is now approaching from the south. Also a NetJet, oh, but that's outbound to Nice. Okay, I disabled the filters. Just seeing if I can checking if I can see it visually. I think I have it. So here would be that hawker. Now following the glide slope from the south, but it is going to take a turn for runway 22 eventually. Now we might also see the A380. I think it is gone now. Yep. And there's the A380 already. Yep. Yep. Ja, er zit een goede zoom op hoor. Okay, so there's the King. And yes, Marissa, it is going to be the last airplane of today's stream. It is flying downwind now. Going to fly base soon, but before it's going to land, we will see a few more heavies. The first one is number 2 right now. Number 1 is an Embraer 175 arriving from Darlington, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. This is KLM flight 1534, Embraer 175 arriving from Darlington after a flight of 51 minutes. This Embraer, 5 years old, first flight June 2017. Next up, Delta Airlines, flight 144, Airbus A330-300 arriving from Seattle, Washington. The airplane underway now for 9 hours and 18 minutes. The airplane's age 16 years. It had its first flight in April 2007. Next up is going to be KLM flight 755, a 777-200, arriving from Guayaquil. If the camera can focus in on it, there we go. So KLM flight 755 arriving from Guayaquil, underway now for almost 12 hours, 11 hours and 35 minutes. This is a 777-200 ER, 19 years old. First flight was in March 2004. And looks like they sandwiched a small business jet between the 777 and the A380. Interesting. Look at the flex of the wings, particularly the right wing. I noticed shaking up and down quite heavily. Now, little NetJet BizJet arriving from Marseille. Bombardier Challenger 350, underway for 1.5 hours. Where is it? Is it deviating from its course? Oh wait, I have it. So the A380 is in the background and the little BizJet over here in the foreground. Makes for an interesting vista. That small BizJet being chased by that big bird. So yeah, this is a Bombardier Challenger 350 arriving from Marseille, and this airplane is underway now for 1.5 hours and a bit. The airplane 5 years old, first flight January 2018. Ja. Well, let's quickly see it land and then turn around for the A380. Oh, nice smooth. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the last airplane of the day, the daily Emirates A388 Super from Dubai. This time around in a standard livery. Emirates flight 147. At the moment, according to Flight Radar, the number 5 worldwide, number 4 worldwide most tracked. It is increasing as I'm speaking about it. The airplane underway now for 6.5 hours. The airplane is 7 years old and had its first flight in October 2015. Well, guys, thank you all so much for joining me. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me. I had a blast and I hope you guys did too. If you guys like what you have seen and you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live again in the future, you receive a heads up and can join us for more action over here at Schiphol Airport. Thanks to everybody who was so kind to donate super chats, super stickers, and particularly Mr. Peterson for that very generous super chat. Thank you so much. Everybody who became a member or gifted memberships, thank you all so much. Your ongoing support is what makes this channel so great. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I am looking forward to seeing you again soon later in the week. For now, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a nice Pentecost Monday or Liberation Day, depending on where you're living, or Memorial Day, sorry. I will see you again soon. For now, I'm going to say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your week. Goodbye.